Today we're taking a look at a couple single cut guitars here. We're going to compare the Eastman SB59 to the Paul Reed Smith S2 McCarty 594. Both of these guitars have been very popular over the last few years, and as a matter of fact, the McCarty 594 is one of Paul Reed Smith's top-selling guitars right now, to be quite honest with you. We'll go ahead and start with the Paul Reed Smith. Like I said, this is a part of the S2 line. If you're not familiar with the S2 line, the S stands for Stevensville, Maryland, and the 2 stands for second production. So these guitars are made in America, and they're made in the same factory where the core guitars are made, and they're made on the second production line. It's really all that means. I think these guitars also serve a really good purpose from the standpoint that it's a great way to introduce players to an American-made Paul Reed Smith guitar and the quality and construction that goes behind that. It's also a great way to kind of, bridge the gap between the SE and, the SE line, which is the import line, and the core line, which is, that's their flagship guitars. That's the ones that are a lot more expensive. So what do you get with this guitar? You get a mahogany body with a maple cap. It's a real maple cap, flamed maple cap, no veneers. You have a mahogany neck that is bound. You've got a 10-inch radius rosewood fretboard with the I guess those are kind of like the white the white birds that are kind of, they're kind of plasticky, but still very nice actually. The nut on the core model of this guitar is bone, and the nut on this guitar is the Paul Reed Smith proprietary nut, which would be the same one that you would see on that core custom 24 back there. A couple of things that the core 594 and this guitar, the S2, share is they're both using the Paul Reed Smith vintage style tuners. These have brass shafts on them, but they're non-locking. Another thing that the core model and this model share is they have the exact same bridge and tailpiece combination. You've got on this guitar, as far as electronics are concerned, you have 2 volume, 2 tone. With the tone pots, you can pop them out and it splits the pickups. For the purpose of this video though, since we're comparing it to the Eastman that does not have that capability, we're going to keep everything just humbucker. Speaking of the humbuckers, these are the 5815S humbuckers. The S designates that they are imported. These are the same humbuckers that you would find in an SE McCarty 594. The 3-way toggle switch, and it has, instead of the violin carve that you would see on a core model, this one actually has what's called an asymmetrical bevel to it. So it's a little thicker across the top and it narrows off on the bottom. Eastman here. The Eastman is this is a great guitar. Both of these guitars, by the way, both of them weigh exactly 8.2 pounds. So not a shoulder breaker by any means on either side. So this is the Eastman SB59. If you're not familiar with Eastman, though I'd be surprised if, because Eastman has become very popular over the last couple of years. But if you're not familiar with the Eastman, they are a company. They're a guitar builder out of Beijing, China, and they are, in my opinion, very close to being a boutique guitar maker. They everything in their factory is handmade. There's no CNC machines, so everything's hand carved. There are a ton of videos on the internet if you'd like proof of that to watch them work on these guitars. But it really is a fabulous. It's really a fabulous method how they do these guitars. They're doing them like the old school. Anyway, let's get into this guitar. Same thing. It's going to be very common. You have a mahogany body. This is a flamed maple cap. You have a one-piece mahogany neck. This does have a bone nut on it. The hardware on this guitar is all Goto. So you've got Goto vintage style Goto vintage style tuners to go along with the Goto bridge and tailpiece. This is a 12-inch radius, fretboard. 22 medium jumbo frets, done very, very well. The guitar itself is bound all the way around the body, up and down the neck. Ebony fretboard, just feels really good. As far as the electronics go, volume, tone, very, pretty much just like the Paul Reed Smith, but like I said, no coil tapping capabilities or coil splitting capabilities. You have a Seymour Duncan 59 in the neck and a Seymour Duncan 59 in the bridge. Great sounding pickups, great sounding PAF style pickups, three-way toggle switch, and just in my opinion, just really it's a dream guitar to play. You know, it's pretty obvious that both of these guitars that we've looked at today are inspired by Gibson. I do think that Eastman and Paul Reed Smith both do a fantastic job of bringing their own unique qualities and skills to what I feel like is already an iconic design in the Gibson Les Paul. Um, these guitars, both of them, like I said, these are my personal guitars, and I enjoy playing both of them very much. Um, the Paul Reed Smith, the S2 line, they're a great working man's guitar. Uh, I have no problem taking that guitar out and gigging with it. And the same thing with the Eastman. They're very similarly priced. They're both coming in at around 1,800. The Paul Reed Smith, I think, is just a little bit more expensive. The Paul Reed Smith comes with a gig bag. The Eastman comes with a hard shell case. So, you know, there are definitely the Eastman definitely has some nicer features for the price point. Uh, but I think personally, I enjoy both of these guitars, and you know, I'm not willing to give up either one. Listen, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video today. As always, I thank you for your support. And if you'd feel so inclined to like the videos and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. And until next time, take care.